in 2019, this island was actually rated as the best island in the world by Condé Nast. I recently stayed here for 5 days, and I hung out around General Luna, which is the main town just south of Cloud 9. We did make a full travel guide about this island and its surrounding areas. Do be sure to check that out. I'll put a link below in the description. But you can see right here they have Daku Island, Virgin Island, Naked Island, and also Gayam Island, which is probably the most famous. You can easily do island hopping of 3 islands in half a day from General Luna, the main town. By the way, General Luna is about 45 minutes away from Del Carmen, where the airport is. There's also another lagoon, which is one of the best lagoons I've ever been to in the world. And that's on the southwestern side of the island called Sugba Lagoon. So definitely don't miss that one. And next up is going to be El Nido, also known as the Little Bird's Nest. This here is on the northern part of Palawan Island. Palawan is one of the most majestic islands in the Philippines and even in the world. And El Nido is its crown jewel, sitting there at the top with many different islands that you can go around. And there are big lagoons, little lagoons, secret lagoons, hidden beaches. Super amazing place. The best time of year to visit here is going to be around April. But if you can't get here in April, try to show up from January until May. Because during those other months is rainy season. I actually showed up here in September, and it was raining 2 of the 4 days that I was here doing island hopping. The best way to get here is to arrive in Puerto Princesa and then hang out, check out the underwater river over there, and check out the subterranean river over there that's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And then drive 4 to 5 hours in a van or bus up into El Nido, and then you can depart out of here to Coron or Manila from the El Nido airport. The best place to stay while here is going to be El Nido Beach. Now we're going to go to Coron, which is a 4 to 5 hour ferry ride from El Nido. They also have an airport here at Busuanga. So the main island that you're going to arrive in, no matter what, is called Busuanga. Off the shore is going to be Coron Island. You will find Coron Town, but that's on Busuanga Island. So keep that in mind when booking your travel accommodation. The main areas to check out while here are going to be Kayagan Lake, where you can get the scenic viewpoint looking down towards the lagoon, and then go diving in that freshwater and saltwater lagoon up there on the mountain. Then you head over to Barracuda Lake, and then Twin Lagoons. Those 3 are the most impressive and most popular, but I actually enjoy Sunset Lagoon and the diving around the Coral Garden and Coral Reef. Really a magical place here. I would recommend spending about 3 days exploring around the area of Busuanga and Coron before going on to your next destination like El Nido or Boracay, something around there. Now, when you book your accommodation, try to stay in Coron Town or as close to there as possible. We did make full travel guides of both El Nido and Coron. I will put those links in the description as well. Now here we are at Boracay, which was also rated by another publication as the best island in the world. This small island north of Aklan is one of the most popular destinations in all of Philippines, although I rank it number 4 on this list. They have the most tourist infrastructure, but they also have the most crowds on this beautiful white beach. There's several areas you can go around here and explore, including Puka Beach, which is a shell beach, as well as the main beach here. If you're looking for party and excitement, you're going to be able to find that here by night, and then in the daytime you can find beach activities, diving, all that stuff also. But if you're not the type of person looking to do rock and roll, bar hopping, all that, you can probably skip Boracay because it is quite intense. There's many other islands that offer a beach vibe. And now we're headed down to the heart of Central Visayas. This here is Cebu. Here you have many different areas to explore, primarily divided by North Cebu and South Cebu. So in the north, you're going to have Bantayan Island, Malapusqua Island, and Camotes Island, as well as the Cebu Safari and Adventure Park. So better beaches and more islands off the coast of Cebu in the north. Then if you go south, you have places like Oslab. You also have a beautiful island down there called Sumalin Island, and you have whale shark watching. My favorite thing to do on Cebu is waterfall chasing. So I like to see all the different waterfalls because there are many, and do some canyoneering. Most of the canyon ravines to do that are going to be on the west side of the island by Mowel Ball. And that's actually a great place to go as well because they have the sardines run over there. So if you get a chance, head over to Mowel Ball. That's a tough one to say, I know, but hey, that's a good place to go. There's two ways to arrive into Cebu. It's usually going to be by airplane into Cebu City, which is on Mactan Island, is where the airport is, nearby Lapu-Lapu. You can also arrive by ferry into Cebu. Next up, we're looking at Bohol. Now, Bohol is basically one big island, which is known as the island of Bohol, and then to the south is Panglao. There's 75 total islands around Bohol. To explore, some of the main attractions include the Lobak River, which is a really nice river cruise with a dinner buffet or a lunch buffet. Also going out to the Chocolate Hills, and then checking out the man-made forest. When you're in the south, down by Panglao, you can check out caves, go around to the beaches like Alona Beach or Dumaluan. They also have some cliff jumping, and then it's a diver's paradise going out island hopping to places like Balikasog Island. Riding ATVs is popular. Also going to check out the tarsiers. This is the world's smallest primate, or at least one of them, and it's unique to Bohol. I was visiting during rainy season, so when I went up to the Chocolate Hills to get a view, as you can see, it was more like the Green Hills, not exactly chocolate. But hey, still amazing views of these unique looking hills that just kind of roll across the countryside. Next up, we're headed to Siquijor, which is known as the Magical Arts Island. For those of you who want to look more into that, you can take a look. But they say it's an enchanted island. I did a full island tour. I rented a car, went around the whole island in one day. I would recommend 2 days here. The only way that I know to arrive is going to be by ferry. They have 2 different ports, so if you're looking to get out here, you're either going to come from Negros Island and Dumaguete or from Bohol. Some of the best activities include going to Peloton Beach, also checking out the old tree called the Bolete tree. This is a really cool place to go. They have fish that are really big, eating at your dead skin on the feet. And then they also have waterfalls here. So lots to do on Siquijor, really a magical place. The main municipalities that you'll want to look at are going to be the town called Siquijor. Then there's also San Juan, which is probably the most laid-back, chill with the hipsters. And then you have La Reina, all of which are along the beach and worth checking out. As with many islands in the Philippines, there's a Spanish history with these missions and churches. This one here is in Lazi. You may want to check that out. Now here we are over on the main island of Luzon. This here is Manila, also known as Metro Manila, which includes Quezon City, as well as BGC, Makati, and many other areas. The population here is over 13 million people. It's the 6th densely populated city in the world, so it's quite busy here and traffic is atrocious. But there's a lot of benefits to hanging out in Manila, and it is the main hub. When you arrive in the Philippines, you're either going to arrive in the Cebu City or Manila, but there's things you can see and do around.
Eine weitere Runde Check 24 App-Check steht an. Und diesmal bin ich nicht alleine, denn zu meiner Linken steht Icke Hüftgold, der beim letzten Spiel erfolgreich gecrashed hat. Da ist das, hier, da ist sein Kopf. Icke, ja!
Und jetzt geht's zum Fußballgolf.
Und so wird's gemacht. Man hat 3 Versuche. Wenn man die App auf dem Handy hat von Check 24, ist einer drin, gibt's 500 Euro. Los geht's.
Komm mal her, Spitzer, wie heißt du denn?
Jana.
Das ist die Jana und die hat natürlich die Check24-App und sie hält sie direkt in die Kamera.
Das ist sogar Premium Goldkunde.
Wenn du ihn jetzt reinmachst, was wird damit gemacht?
Megapark.
Hat die Jana schon mal gespielt? Und ich habe gerade noch gefragt, ob sie Fußball gespielt hat, da war das Ding schon drin. Jana, 500 Euro!
Danke Leute, ich liebe Check 24.
Ey, ganz ehrlich, jetzt mal an das Supporting-Team aus dem Hintergrund. Hättet ihr das gedacht beim ersten, dass sie den reinmacht?
Ja, ihr steht immer 100%
Ich habe hier 500 Euro und das wäre so geil, wenn die euch gehören. Hättet ihr Lust?
Immer.
Taktische Absprechung, wer schießt von euch?
Claudia, der Mann.
Nee. Alter,
Lässiger Typ.
Alter,
Links vorbei!
ich traue ja deiner Frau mehr Gefühl zu als dir, ne?
Das hab ich drauf.
Nimm mal den Mann mit dem vielen Tür auf dem Kessel, ne?
Motivierende Worte an dich selber? Nur der HSV. So.
Nur der HSV.
Oh.
Alter Schwede.
Junge, mach höher!
Ja, ja, ja.
500 Euro, so kann's gehen. So Leute, jetzt.
Und guckt euch das
hier.
an. Endlich hat der HSV auch mal ein Erfolgserlebnis, ne?
Hi, du bist der Papa?
Bin der Olli, hallo.
Olli, grüß dich. Ein ganz besonderer Moment. Der Olli hat einfach 36 Aktivitäten auf der Check24-App. Oh. Der junge Mann hier steht schon seit Stunden hier. Hi. Ich zeig noch mal kurz, worum es geht. 500 Euro?
Meine Anna, hast du überhaupt schon mal eingeloggt irgendwann irgendwo?
Ja, ich habe 5 Kinder.
Du machst das. Sag mir noch mal deinen Namen kurz.
Jackie,
Jackie Cola. Ich wollte es nur noch mal selbst hören, ne?
Jackie, an uns
Jetzt
liegt's
wird's
nicht.
spannend.
Mach ihn rein.
Es wird
Im
spannend.
besten Fall 500 Euro.
Ich habe es geschafft! Jackie Cola. Das war Jackie Cola und ich wusste es. Ich wusste es. Ich wusste es einfach.
Was ist denn hier los? Hier? Was soll ich groß sagen? 500 Euro! Jackie!
Und Icke Hüfter legt noch 5 Jackie Cola drauf an der Bar.
Wir waren mal wieder auf Mallorca. Das war der Check24 App-Check. Fußballgolf. Heute neu an meiner Seite. Icke Hüftgold. Alter, vielen Dank. Es war geil.
Es war der Wahnsinn. Die schönsten Bälle habe ich ja eh schon immer auf Mallorca gesehen. Heute haben wir sie auch reingemacht, ne? Und dazu gibt's vielleicht auch bald was auf die Ohren.
Ich freue mich auf alles, was kommt. Und freut ihr euch, denn wir kommen wieder. App runterladen. Es lohnt sich. Hey, in diesem Sinne.
Tschüss.
Shark Detect Pro mit automatischer Absaugstation. Der bisher intelligenteste Akkustaubsauger von Shark. Smarter Reinigung.
Here, like going to Intramuros and walking along the seaside, the waterfront, hanging out in BGC and Makati. So do take some time, maybe 24 to 48 hours to explore Manila. Some of the largest malls in all of Asia are here, including SM Mall of Asia, and you just saw the Venice Canals Mall. That's a small one, but still many different big malls. And I really enjoyed hanging out at the seaside, eating some food. The food down here is going to include things like sisig or lechon. You're also going to find some lumpia Shanghai and pancit. So Manila is a great place to try Filipino food. Also, while on Luzon, you can head up to Baguio or Vigan, which is in the northern part. There's also Batanes. And then you have Tall Volcano, which is actually an active volcano in the middle of the lake. Sometimes when you're in Philippines, you'll hear there's smog, or fog as they call it, which is volcanic smog, and that's from Tall Volcano. Now from the north in Luzon, we're headed to the southernmost island of Mindanao. This here is Davao City. We highlight the city, but really the area around Mindanao here, you're going to have places like Mount Apo. This here is the tallest volcano or mountain in all of the Philippines. Some people like to hike up there if you're really looking for a challenge, but I just hung out around the coffee country and found it to be quite nice. They also have hot springs up here. Then they have Samal Island, known as Garden Paradise. That's really close to Davao City. You can get a little villa right there on the beach here. Really beautiful island, oh my gosh. And yeah, the western part of Mindanao is actually off limits. There is a travel advisory, so I wouldn't go that far west. But if you go to the north, you're going to have Surigao del Sur and Surigao Norte. And that's actually different than the island. That's attached to Mindanao. Davao City is actually the second largest metro area in the Philippines, even larger than Cebu City. So it is worth getting down here to Mindanao to check it out. Now we're going to head up to Pampanga. This is actually where Angeles City is. I considered Angeles City or the area around Clark, the old Air Force base, to be the nicest part of all of the Philippines, the most modern. They have a lot of infrastructure here because of the U.S. military that was set up. And it's also just a very nice atmosphere and environment because it's so lush and beautiful right here. Not as many palm trees, but lots of native vegetation. Now there is a big mountain here called Mount Pinatubo, and it did erupt back in the early 90s, so keep that in mind when you're visiting here. But now let's talk about the Philippines in general, or Luzon a little bit more. We talked about Vigan, we talked about Baguio, and the rice paddies up there. There's also the Thousand Islands area, and then you have the far north, so definitely do some more exploring around Luzon along the Po. One more thing I want to say about the Philippines, it's really divided into three areas. In the north, you have Luzon. In the center, you have the islands of Visayas. And then in the south, you have Mindanao and their islands. So that's how the Philippines is set up, and you'll hear it commonly addressed that way. There's many different languages here, including a whole nother language aside from Tagalog called Visaya. And on that note, that's going to conclude this episode of Island Hopper TV from the Philippines. If you enjoyed this one, please consider watching our full Surigao travel guide as well as our Coron Island travel guide next by clicking one of these end screens.
Die neue Lieblingsgaunerin der Unterwelt.
Was willst du?
Du hast das falsche Syndikat verärgert. Aber es gibt einen Ausweg. Raub ihnen ihr Geld und kauf dich frei.